victory against Real Valladolid last week. No Borja Iglesias, their top goal scorer this season, on 3 goals. He'll have to await his opportunity on the bench. So everything ready to go at San Mames. Athletic Club will be getting this one underway. Their traditional home strip of red and white black shorts. Celta also playing in their home kit. A sky blue shirt and white shorts. It's Agirrezabala with the first possession of the game. Sancet dropping onto the right flank. He keeps that in play. And Iñaki Williams does well to force a corner kick. Shimmy from Oscar Mingueza. Iñaki Williams with the challenge, and let's see, because Oscar Mingueza seems to be signaling that he can't continue. Marcos Alonso's warming up. Well, this would be a huge blow for Celta, arguably their most informed player this season. 2 goals, 3 assists, a recent call-up to the Spanish national side. Seems like he felt something pop there in that clash with Iñaki Williams. It is going to be Marcos Alonso, who's a late arrival at Celta in this summer transfer window after having left Football Club Barcelona, where things didn't perhaps go as he would have liked after signing from Chelsea. And as Oscar Mingueza continues to receive treatment, the game is underway yet again with 10 players temporarily on the pitch for the side from Galicia. Iñaki Williams again ghosting in behind Djalo. His ball back towards Oscar Oyan Sancet, and it's Gorosabel who hooks it in. There's a tentative look towards the linesman, but it looks like it will stand. Athletic Club with the early lead at San Mames, just 3.5 minutes into the game. And you can see Gorosabel doesn't seem 100% convinced that this goal won't be chalked off. He celebrates in the meantime. A real poacher's goal from Gorosabel. No offside there from Iñaki Williams, who does well to get in behind Djalo. It doesn't seem to be a great deal wrong with that goal, so it seems like it will stand. Gorosabel, the quickest to react to the loose ball, gets in ahead of Starfelt, and he's a player who's got many tools. Quick instinct, reactions. and the ability to flick that ball beyond Vicente Guaita, a player that scored 14 goals last season in La Liga EA Sports. That's his first of the campaign this year as Marcos Alonso comes on for Oscar Mingueza, and I'm sure Claudio Giraldez will be extremely frustrated with the fact that that goal came in the small window in which Celta had 10 players on the pitch, and it came down the flank where Oscar Mingueza had been playing in the opening minutes of the game. So a slight bit of misfortune there for Celta, which was pounced upon by Athletic Club. Mikel Jaureguizar, Sancet, Iñaki Williams brought down by Jailson. It's been a difficult start to the game for the Brazilian. Now it's Adama Boiro. Was looking to play the ball back towards Aitor Paredes, but he's given away a throw into Celta. Thiago Aspas takes it quickly. There's a disconnect in defence, which Dubicas came from a throw, and Paredes was complaining, wasn't alert to the move. Thiago Aspas, as always, one of those streetwise footballers. He finds any way possible to get an inch on his opponent. That's what he did there with that quick throw-in. It's a high foot from the Spanish international. It would be fascinating to see if Claudio Giraldez is asked about those 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes in which Mingueza wasn't on the pitch and Athletic Club made the run down that right flank and scored the goal. Alonso, Jonathan Bamba looking to take on Jaureguizar. This cross is deflected. Agirrezabala comes a long way and punches clear. It's been a difficult couple of weeks for Agirrezabala. There's another difficult cross is launched in by Jailson and cleared by Danny Vivian. Agirrezabala has been under the microscope somewhat after a couple of mistakes against Las Palmas. Ernesto Valverde did have to come out in the press conference and publicly defend his goalkeeper. There's that move again. Perfect timing on the run from Iñaki Williams. Once he's got a yard on you, you're in deep, deep trouble. Starfelt. Giants going long. Too long for Jonathan Bamba. Goal. Jonathan Bamba wasn't deep enough to help out Jailson on that flank, and too much time given to Oscar de Marcos to play the ball in behind Jailson. A ferocious start, which you tend to expect when you visit San Mames. You need to try and weather the storm in the opening 10-15 minutes. Vigo have not been capable of doing so, but they played out nicely from the back now. Jago Aspas. Damian. Rodriguez, 21-year-old in midfield. 21-year-old alongside Hugo Sotelo, 20 years old. Just shows how much faith Claudio Giraldet is showing in his former academy players. As Aitor Paredes ends up clearing the ball there. It's Hugo Alvarez looking to take on the Athletic Club defence. Alonso. It's picked up by Miguel Jaureguizar. This is Alex Berenguer. Now Athletic Club slowing down the game. De Marcos gets that run in behind the left wing back. That's where Athletic Club are making most of their attacks as they look to target Jailson. Free kick given. I'm sure it was Gorosabel or Jan Sancet, one or the other. Judged by the referee to have committed a foul on Jonathan Bamba. Maybe it was the shove from Miguel Jaureguizar. Firm defending from Aitor Paredes, but excessively rough as he brings down Anastasios Duvikas. Jailson, there's a bit of space on the right-hand side now for Hugo Alvarez. Takes on Beñat Prados. Good defensive cover from Adama Boido. Adama Boido, who joined the club this summer from Osasuna. He's a player who all throughout his youth years was a centre forward. It was a manager at Osasuna B who decided to try him out at left back, and well, that's where he flourished under their B team. Was picked up by Athletic Club, and here he is a couple of seasons later playing in La Liga EA Sports. He's got work to do here. Jailson. Marcos Alonso. Ball into the channel is on for Jonathan Bamba. He has no success trying to get past Danny Vivian. One of 3 European champions in this Athletic Club squad. The only one available today to Ernesto Valverde, with Unai Simon and Nico Williams all both out injured. Jailson, again there's space for Bamba. Paredes anticipates yet again. Gives it away cheaply to Marcos Alonso. Surveys his options, finds Bamba, does well to keep it alive, and Marcos Alonso gets a dangerous free kick for Celta Vigo. Well, that's probably the best he could have hoped for in that situation. Marcos Alonso didn't really seem as if the move was coming to much. Kudos here to Bamba for keeping the ball alive there. And then the Marcos lunging in on Marcos Alonso. As we said, this is where Julen Agirrezabala has had issues in recent games. Balls being put in from the box in heavy populated areas. He struggled to come out and meet the ball. It's a low-drilled ball, which is cleared by Danny Vivian, but they'll get another opportunity to put it into the box, as it will be a corner kick for the visitors. Played short yet again. That's a better-looking cross, cleared by Paredes. Picked up yet again by Hugo Sotelo. Sotelo takes over. Good movement from Celta, although it's overcooked from Hugo Sotelo, who was looking to switch it towards Marcos Alonso, but they do that very well when they play the short, quick 1-2s, and they attract the opposition to the ball, and it opens up spaces on the opposite flank. They find the overload, which is what they were looking for in Marcos Alonso. To Vicente Guaita, who's been in the news this week after a recent interview in which he slightly questioned Rafa Benitez's tenure at Celta de Vigo. Seems that, at least from what's coming out of the dressing room, that players seem to be a little bit happier under Claudio Giraldez. Aspas, flick on looking for Dubicas. It's another prolonged spell of possession from Celta Vigo. The game is starting to be played on their terms. Starfelt. Diego Aspas looks to get away from Beñat Prados. It's cleared by Aitor Paredes. Well, they're finding ways of getting the ball into the final third, are Celta, and they are putting balls into the box. They're not finding that finishing touch, that end product, but I'm sure that Claudio Giraldez will be a lot more satisfied. Ooh! A lot more satisfied with what he'd seen from his team. Maybe a slight scare for him there with that pass back from Marcos Alonso. Jailson. There's the characteristic high press of Athletic Club. Vivian wins the header. Rodriguez. Alvarez. The shot is blocked by Adama Boido, and he's going to show a yellow card to Alex Berenguer for a late challenge. Seem to be too much of a complaint there from Alex Berenguer, and you can see why. Oh. He's caught Javier Rodriguez on the ankle there. Corner is Put into the box. Cleared by Berenguer. Oh, no one attacking the ball there as Sancet says, thank you very much, I'll come away with it. And he somehow maintains possession, finds Alex Berenguer on the left. Berenguer's cross. It's well defended by Hugo Alvarez. Giles Alonso, see how far up the pitch that Marcos comes to help out his team, try and pressure Celta Vigo into a mistake as they pass it out from the back. Johnson finds space in the middle, not for the first time. That area in the middle of the park have been spaces and opportunities for Celta Vigo players to pick up the ball, turn. Bamba, it's a difficult 1-2 he was attempting to play with Marcos Alonso. Sancet looks up, sees Alex Berenguer making the run on the left. That's a delicious control from him. And the ball, after a deflection, ends up in the hands of Vicente Guaita, but applause from the fans after this beautiful touch from Berenguer. Whoa. One of those players, Berenguer, who's, I don't know what the correct term would be for him, a super sub of sorts, the 12th man. He's a player that doesn't have a place in the starting 11 really nailed down because of Nico and Iñaki Williams, but every time he's called upon, he performs. And hang on, Iago Aspas is through, he looks to take it around Agirrezabala. Is that a penalty kick? Yes, says the referee. Aspas wants a bit more in the shape of a yellow card for the goalkeeper, but that was a complete mental switch off from the Athletic Club defence. It was far too easy for Celta to slice them open. Peñat Prados doesn't track the run of Iago Aspas. He finds the space in between Paredes and Vivian. Agirrezabala, well, to be fair to him, he tries to stand his ground. He doesn't commit there. Tries to get onto the ball, but Iago Aspas, he's intelligent. We said before, he's tremendously street smart, and he got his body in the way and ensured that Agirrezabala made contact with his leg. Those are those footballers that many say are a dying breed. Iago Aspas, what he's represented for Celta de Vigo over the years, and he's still got it. He's 37 years old. Perhaps he's lost a little bit of pace. He's not as incisive, maybe not as much of a direct threat as he was before, but he's still hugely influential on the pitch for Celta, and he's now got a chance to score his third goal of the campaign. Huge wall of noise behind that Agirrezabala goal, looking to put off Iago Aspas. But he's a cool customer. He goes down the middle, points to the Celta de Vigo badge, and he's put Celta back into this game pretty much on his own. It's his run. It's his attempt to put the ball past Julian Agirrezabala that brought him down, that forced the penalty, and it's his conversion It's got Celta back on level terms at San Mames. There is that second touch. Just too far away from Agirrezabala. Oh. It's cool. But is it slightly fortunate also from Djalo Aspas, because Agirrezabala was about an inch away from getting his boot onto that ball. So 1-1 after 25 minutes. Gorosabel firing Athletic into the lead. Aspas drawing them level from the penalty spot. And to be fair, if you take into account the entire 25 minutes and how both teams have performed, perhaps you could say that Celta Vigo being on level terms is maybe the fairest outcome. It's non-stop Djalo Aspas. If anyone ever gets the opportunity to see him play live and just focuses on him, non-stop dialogue with his teammates, with the referee, with the opponent. Such an intense player as he plays in another beautiful ball in for Duvikas. Agirrezabala had to be quick off the line, but it's all Djalo Aspas right now. An absolute masterclass in intelligent football from the number 10 out here on the turf at San Mames today. I think that's what sets players apart at this stage. Iñaki Williams. Boido. Sancet was looking to feed it through to Iñaki Williams. Didn't make the cleanest contact on the ball. And Iñaki Williams just running through the back of Marcos Alonso. Brother Nico looking on from the stands. Ernesto Valverde hasn't confirmed whether he'll be available to face Roma next Thursday, but that's very much the target for Nico Williams, who sprained his ankle right on the brink of half-time against Leganés. Clear foul for Aitor Paredes and another yellow card. That's the second of the game for Athletic. Bamba runs into Mikel Jaureguizar. Prados, they've not really been able to control the midfield. Prados and Jauregui. Berenguer, a more central role, finds Iñaki Williams. Away again. Far too easily by Mikel Jauregui. Finds space on that left flank. It's Jonathan Bamba consistently getting on the ball. Hugo Alvarez. No free kick. I think Gorosabel was sure that the referee was going to blow his whistle there, as he showed good strength in that tussle. Time he does get the free kick, Gorka Gorosabel. Just starting to feel a little bit frustrated. I think they might be frustrated on the whole. This performance from Athletic, where they're not really finding a way of getting on the ball, generating chances, getting the ball into the final third. Just the brand of football which they love to see in Bilbao. Vivian. Looks like he was running into a cul-de-sac and ended up giving it away to Marcos Alonso. Again, you'd have to say the game is probably looking a bit more like how Claudio Giraldez would have wanted the game to go than Ernesto Valverde, in the sense that it's Celta in possession most of the time. Foul by Prados. Bamba. Starfelt. Alvarez can't keep control of the ball. De Marcos. Oh, Guaita hesitating. Iñaki Williams on the ball inside the box. Still Iñaki. Still Iñaki. Jailson comes across to make the challenge. And now Celta can break. It's Hugo Alvarez. Don't think there was too much of a claim there from Iñaki Williams or any of his teammates. Jonathan Bamba looking to take on De Marcos. Travels the width of the pitch and ends up at the feet of Hugo Alvarez. Jailson. Back to Bamba. Looks to cross with his left foot. Marcos Alonso with the flick. A fine save from Agirrezabala. But the threat isn't over. Jailson powers away. Can he keep it in play? No, he can't. Goal kick. And a rough period in the game for Athletic. You could hear the boos and whistles around the stadium as Sevilla sprayed the ball around. Celta rather, sprayed the ball around. And concluded in that chance there for Marcos Alonso. Hugo Alvarez. Thiago Aspas. Ooh. That might have been his first wrong decision in the game, Thiago Aspas. Fortunately, Javi Rodriguez was quick enough to react and get in ahead of Gorka Guruceta. Sotelo. Good ball in behind Adama Boido. Hugo Alvarez. First time ball to Thiago Aspas. Berenguer drives it clear. Sancet. Athletic need to see a bit more from Oyan Sancet. As Iñaki Williams cuts in beyond the slipping Marcos Alonso. Berenguer. Starfelt just poking it away from Iñaki Williams, who's been the main threat today for Athletic Club. Looked offside. Linesman's going to allow this one to continue. Thiago Aspas slots it away. Is the flag up? Yes, it is. Well, it's those decisions that frustrate the fans when it seemed initially quite clear that Duvikas was in an offside position, but I suppose he wasn't. Well, that's why he's the linesman and I'm not. Everybody thought there was no point in continuing. Is Thiago Aspas onside, though? That's the second question that needs clarifying. It is Thiago Aspas who's in the offside position. Sancet, brought down by Jailson. Yeah, just a shade offside from Thiago Aspas. It's a lovely finish, but just a fraction ahead of the Athletic Club defenders. With the service, it's short, it can't find Danny Vivian. It's cleared comfortably by the Celta defense. Back with Agirrezabala. The trademark Berenguer cross, and Gorka Guruceta fires the header in at the near post. A second goal for him. And Athletic, well, they've gone back to basics. They've gone back to what's always worked best for them to put themselves back into the lead against a Celta side who were probably the better team on the pitch. But Berenguer's service from the left-hand side, we saw it the other day against Las Palmas in the Paredes goal. He put in a similar cross which Iñaki Williams volleyed at the far post and Paredes tapped into an empty net. He's done it again. This time though it's Gorka Guruceta with a thunderbolt of a header. But really you don't find too many players in this division that put in a better ball into the box than Alex Berenguer. Well, it's a story as old as time. Athletic Club put the ball into the box and the target man will put it into the back of the net. Be it Ismael Urtaiz, be it Fernando Llorente, be it Aritzu Aduriz, or be it Gorka Guruzeta. And now they're hungry for more. Adama Boido. And just like that, the mood switches inside San Mames. The feeling for the opposition players is that the tide starts to turn, and it's all because of that one moment there, that cross from Berenguer and the header from Guruzeta, because before that, you'd argue that Celta were relatively comfortable in this game. Sancet. Agirrezabala. It's a loose touch. Now Celta on the counter. Djalo Aspas. Well, he's still got a bit of pace. He's up against the Marcos, who's just a couple of years younger than him. But he's had to look for support. Damian Rodriguez. Gilson. Bamba. Prados helping out. Aitor Paredes. Adama Boido. Pass from Alvarez. Rare opportunity for Adama Boido to show himself in attack and a little bit sloppy in possession. Keeps the control of the ball, ends up committing a clumsy foul on Javi Rodriguez. Got to backtrack Adama as Paredes comes out in his aid. Agirrezabala. Berenguer, Iñaki makes the run, he spots it. Starfelt does well to adjust his body there as he was just backtracking. Sancet. Works well to maintain possession. Sancet and Guruzeta. Slight lapse in communication. Duvikas. The work right there from the centre forward. Guruzeta helping out Adama Boido. Alonso into the pocket, and Jonathan Bamba can't make it on this occasion, but it's been a fruitful partnership down the left. Marcos Alonso and Jonathan Bamba. after the premature departure of Oscar Mingueza in this game after a muscular injury, made him come off after 3 minutes. But Marcos Alonso has look to whip in another threatening ball, Berenguer. This time it's headed clear by Hugo Alvarez. maybe left Julian Agirrezabala a little bit groggy, a little bit dazed after that clash. So Alex Padilla, who is the third goalkeeper at Athletic Club, who started the season because of injuries to Unai Simon and Agirrezabala and performed magnificently well, gets another opportunity in between the sticks. There's one guarantee at Athletic Club and Lezama. It is that goalkeepers are going to come through the conveyor belt, as we've seen over the years with Remido, Kepa, Harry Zabalaga, Unai Simon, of course, Julian Agirrezabala, now Alex Padilla, who will have another 45 minutes to showcase his talents here at San Mames. Celta with the first possession of the second half. And again, it's Jonathan Bamba who finds space on the left-hand side, trips up over the ball. Disappointing for Bamba because that was an opportunity for the Ivorian. Sancet on the turn. Iñaki Williams just holds his run. Finds him in the end. Ball will drop to Berenguer on the edge of the box. Overlapping run from Adama Boido. Berenguer unconvinced. All ended up getting a little bit sloppy there for Athletic. Beñat Prados giving away the free kick. Well, he got the ball, but he also got plenty of Thiago Aspas. I was going to say, there's not really much that Beñat Prados did wrong there. He got the ball and he couldn't just disappear. Although for me, personally, I think I would have let them play on after that coming together of both players. In it comes, looking for Paredes. It was completely unmarked. Good strength from Beñat Prados as he robs the ball off Damian Rodriguez. Sancet. Well-timed challenge from Hugo Sotelo. Guaita. Hugo Alvarez screams there of sin falta, don't foul him. Berenguer. Berenguer. Still Berenguer, saved by Vicente Guaita. Well, that's a player brimming with confidence. I mean, he had no right there getting onto the end of the ball, but through his perseverance and perhaps a slight lack of concentration from the Celta defence, he was allowed to pull the trigger. Hugo Alvarez. Paredes intercepts. The ball was looking for Anastasios Douvikas. Jailson. Sancet. Looking to turn. I think he had one eye on Iñaki Williams making the run down the right-hand side. And taking one for the team was Hugo Sotelo, who sees yellow. Jailson, Duicas just going too early. Bamba is onside. Vivian comes across with his usual strength and conviction. Although I think Claudio Giraldez saw that as being a little bit too rough from the Athletic Club centre-half. Alvarez. Run out of options there. Berenguer. Agirrezabala. He's not looked at his best today. Beñat Prados holds back Yago Aspas, tug of the shirt, and a yellow card for him again. Biting the bullet for Miguel Agirrezabala's mistake. First touch of the ball for Alejandro Padilla. Alonso. Williams. That's fine work from Jonathan Bamba to regain possession. Bit of space here on the edge of the box. Javi Rodriguez. That touch won't help him. I think Hugo Alvarez was signaling that he was making the diagonal run into the box. Damian played it behind him. Sancet gets in ahead of Jailson. Now he can run. Oh, it's a bit too heavy for Alex Berenguer. Berenguer keeps the move alive. Adama Boido. Agirrezabala, edge of the box. His shot is deflected. Corner kick. It's a deep ball onto the head of Vivian. Williams brings it down. Prados. Flick on from Vivian. Boydois. Thought he was the deepest defender. There's cover from Oscar de Marcos. Djalo Aspas. Keeps a hold of the ball. Bamba. Bamba. Marcos Alonso. They continue to connect and link up well on that left flank. Oh, Danny Vivian showing something a little bit different. Nutmegging Jonathan Bamba. Gives it away again to Djalo Aspas. Padilla comes a long way, and I'm sure Ernesto Valverde will start to think about changes in midfield. It's two positions, those two central midfielders, where he hasn't really found his favourite partnership yet. Ruiz de Galarreta, you'd think if he had to go for his strongest 11, would be a shoe-in, and who accompanies him? Well, it was Berenguer Prados last season. In midweek it was Mikel Vesga. There's also Ander Herrera, so plenty of options there for Valverde. I think Agirrezabala has been struggling in this game. Lovely ball from Sancet to his shot into the hands of Vicente Guaita. That was the 1-2 with the Berenguer Prados, who's also grown into this game. Aspas again finds the best option. Damian, space on the left. Marcos Alonso into Bamba. Almost found an opening there at the near post as Padilla rushed out. But they continuously find a way to find that overload on the flanks, specifically on the left. There's always a lot of room for Marcos Alonso. We see Borja Iglesias alongside Willis Vedberg. Iglesias, top goal scorer this season for Celta. Well, before the game kicked off, now joint with Djalo Aspas after he scored that penalty. Jason, not for the first time, a little bit hesitant to attack the ball, and that's allowed Gorosabel to get in ahead. Berenguer, Adama, and he doesn't find anybody with the cross. See there though, the fans trying to show support for their youngster, Adama. It's been a difficult position. That left-back slot for Ernesto Valverde, with Yuri having had a rough time with injuries in the last couple of seasons, and normally was Inigo Legue filling in as a right-footed left-back, but there wasn't a natural replacement for Yuri. And that's what they're hoping to find in Adama. Again from Athletic. Iñaki Williams slips on the turn. That allows Jailson to bring the ball out. Djalo Aspas sets off the Ubicas. Aitor Paredes is quicker to the ball. Ilaish Moriba going to come on for Celta. Javier Rodriguez. There is that space, or it was there for Marcos Alonso, but Iñaki Williams with the intercepting challenge. Jailson. Hugo Alvarez. Jailson picks up the loose ball. Marcos Alonso, 3 players in the box. Jonathan Bamba on the edge. He's dispossessed. Oyan Sancet can't keep it in play. I think we're going to get those 2 substitutions. So Hugo Sotelo comes off for Ilaish Moriba. And Jailson, the other player to be replaced. It's almost incredible to believe, or to think, that he's 21 years old, Ilaish. Still, after having been at so many clubs, seemed like he left Football Club Barcelona such a long time ago, and went to Red Bull Leipzig, Valencia. There was that loan spell at Getafe. Now Celta. Things haven't quite kicked off for him yet, Ilaish Moriba, but with the right management, and if you get him in the right frame of mind, there's still a lot of potential for the player from Guinea. Two changes also being lined up for Athletic. Íñigo Leque and Íñigo Ruiz de Galarreta. Got a feeling Leque will be for Adama Boido. Ruiz de Galarreta, there's that sense mentioned before about Mikel Jaureguizar not having the best game, but Prados is on a yellow card, so let's see what decision Ernesto Valverde makes. Hugo Alvarez can't control. So it will be Adama Boido coming off for Íñigo Leque. And the big question here is who Íñigo Ruiz de Galarreta will come on for. And it will be Mikel Jaureguizar. So Ruiz de Galarreta, a bit more control in the middle of the park for Athletic, with Galarreta, as there's a standing ovation for Adama Boido, featuring just in his second game for Athletic. Second game in the La Liga EA Sports. Saud, who is in fact younger than Adama Boido, just 20 years of age, although he's been on the scene for slightly longer for Athletic. Also receives that applause from the home fans. Starfelt almost giving the ball away to Gorosabel. Here's Carlos Dominguez, first touch of the ball for him. First touch also for Ilaix Moriba. Galarreta, fouled by Hugo Alvarez. And a couple more substitutions. These ones are more attacking from Celta, with Williat Svedberg and Borja Iglesias stripped of their tracksuits and ready to come on. Williams lets that one run, falls into the path of Starfelt. Two more changes. Hugo Alvarez coming off, and number 12, who I can't find on my team sheet. They've got that one wrong. Let's see if we can confirm who the other player to have come off is for Borja Iglesias. Well, it's probably Duvikas. It looks like it's Duvikas. It is indeed. So Borja Iglesias, Djalo Aspas, and Williat Svedberg in attack. Jonathan Bamba has now dropped to the right wing. Sancet. Williams. Williams' cross. It's one of those where Guaita had to wait until the very last second to see if anybody got a touch on it. See how late Guaita reacts there, but deals very well with the threat. So 70 minutes almost on the clock. Second half from Celta, perhaps not as fruitful as the opening 45 minutes, or not as threatening. Bamba. He took a chance there. Javier Rodriguez, as he looked to bring the ball down with Alex Berenguer snapping at his heels. Gomez also prepared to come on. Attacking midfielder. And Djalo Aspas thought about the shot. Feeds it to Borja Iglesias, and that ricocheted off Danny Vivian has awarded Celta a corner kick. Almost meeting the head of Starfelt. Back in again towards Marcos Alonso. Rodriguez. Celta, who is starting to spend more and more time inside Athletics half as they go in search of an equalizer. Svedberg looking to Marcos Alonso. For the top, headed clear by Paredes. Clearance comes from Inigo Leque. Doesn't go off, so Unai Gomez will have to continue to wait for his chance to come on to the game. Aspas. Bamba. Snapshot cross cleared by Paredes. Now it does go out of play. That throw-in was so quick from Javi Rodriguez. That's it. Unai Gomez continues to wait on the sideline. Bamba. Djalo Aspas goes down. Referee waves at him to get up. Well, Mr. Sancet Martinez, who had a good view of that coming together. Very clearly thought that there was no penalty there. They don't look too convinced either on the Celta bench. Oh, there's a slight bit of boot to boot there from Paredes, but it does seem far too soft for a penalty to be awarded. Meanwhile, that substitution is taking place. There is Unai Gomez. Very young player to have come through the academy at 21 years of age. Really established himself last season. He's come on for Alex Berenguer. He's going to play a little bit further to the left here. More accustomed to seeing him in that hole behind the centre forward. Rodriguez carries the ball for Celta. No way forward, so it's back with Carl Starfelt, former Celtic player. And another Athletic substitution. Valverde just slowly bringing on his players, not all of them together. Djalo, one of the summer signings for Athletic from Sporting Braga, will come on for Gorka Guruzeta. Two goals in the bag for Guruzeta today, and Djalo coming on, still awaiting his first La Liga goal. Player who can operate on the wing and as the centre forward, but Valverde says his best performances for Athletic have been in that number 9 role, so it's probably where we're going to see more of Álvaro Djalo this season. 25 years of age and cousin to Malcolm Aduaris, Athletic club player who's on loan at Real Zaragoza this season. Williams looks to switch play towards Unai Gomez. Gets his head in, always putting his body on the line, Unai Gomez. Moriba catching Beñat Prados. De Marcos. Iago Aspas, he's still got something left in the tank to go and press Padilla. Sure, he wanted the ball to be played to him there by Beñat Prados. Rodriguez. The Galarreta. Williams to the right, Unai Gomez to the left. He feeds it to Sancet. Williams shows his turn of pace. The ball in towards Djalo. 3-1 Athletic Club. There's his first goal in a red and white shirt. And it was a textbook counter-attack from Athletic Club. Well, they've shown all of the weapons that make them such a threat this evening. All of the weapons that Claudio Giraldes said they were going to try and conceal and try and make sure that Athletic Club couldn't bring to the fore. But they found no way of stopping Iñaki Williams in his tracks. And Álvaro Djalo, that will be a huge relief for him to score his first goal. And he took it ever so well on the head. Pace there from Iñaki Williams. There are very few defenders in the world, let alone La Liga, who can stop Iñaki Williams once he's running at full force. That's some finish from Álvaro Djalo too. Big smile on the face of Ernesto Valverde. Nico Williams also happy and proud of his older brother with his assist. Well, it's one of those games for a young side like Celta, who are playing an attractive brand of football, who are trying to test themselves and measure where they are with regards to those teams in La Liga eSports who are qualifying for Europe and playing European competitions, and which is where they want to be. And I think today is a bit of a lesson in that sense, in terms of being effective and efficient, as Unai Gomez looks to float that ball in towards Álvaro Djalo, because it's been a good performance from Celta. It's been what we've come used to seeing from them this season, but it's been the finishing and the final product and those little touches of class and quality from the Athletic Club players which have set the two teams apart. Djalo looking to stun Vicente Guaita with an early shot there. But that's the mistake. Javi Rodriguez gives the ball away cheaply. They're stretched. And when you're stretched and leave spaces to players like Iñaki Williams or Nico Williams, who isn't here today, but you know that those are the main weapons of this Athletic Club side, then you're asking for trouble. Just not finding Borja Iglesias with the ball there. Good signing, you feel, on paper for Celta. Borja Iglesias, who was a really bright academy product at Celta. And he's come back now, having applied his trade all over Spain, and as a much different kind of player than he was when he left the club at such a young age. It hasn't been an easy season for him at Real Betis, but he's closer to home. He's from Santiago, not too far away from Vigo, and he's started off by scoring goals, and he'll have the confidence to try and build on that for the rest of the season. committed by Inigo Ruiz de Galarreta on William Svedberg, who's not seen too much of the ball since coming on. This man has seen plenty of the ball, Marcos Alonso, who again asks questions of the athletic defence. Pushing going on inside the box, and a yellow card. Is it to Iglesias? Looks like it is from his reaction. Here comes the ball, headed away by Iñaki Williams. Djalo. Advantage is played, and Sancet makes a hash of that ball, so the free kick is given. Goes long. Gomez standing tall. Vivian. Gomez can't stay on his feet, and Bamba plays it out to Yago Aspas. Brilliant anticipation from Vivian, and he looks to push forward. Djalo, a couple of step-overs from him, just leaves the ball behind him. Now Vivian is going to have to get back as he tries to regain some territory on Iglesias Moriba. Marcos Alonso. William Svedberg's cross, and it's sliced over the crossbar by Beñat Prados. Svedberg protects the ball. Shove coming from Djalo. Well, that's what got Iglesias Moriba the yellow card. I can understand his frustrations there. Wasn't anything too major from Iglesias Moriba, although they did say this season in La Liga that they were going to clamp down on shirt tugs and all that pushing that goes on inside the box. Oh, that's lovely from Sancet. The applause from Iñaki Williams before controlling the ball. Williams back to Sancet, clips it over for Oscar de Marcos. And a wonderful move, has no end product. But just a couple of glimpses there from Sancet. Player who's been called up on numerous occasions to the Spanish national side, but missed out on the Euros this summer. Still only 24. Unai Gomez. Sancet. There's no one to put the ball into the box to for Unai Gomez, so he's got to play the 1-2 off Djalo. Vivian, as always, looking to anticipate, and there was room and space there to attack for Borja Iglesias. Had the ball being played with the adequate amount of pace on it. And that's what precisely Iglesias is saying to his teammate Javi Rodriguez. Goes long as Iñaki Williams and Djalo returning from offside positions. Just a couple of minutes left here of added time. Just a reminder of next week's fixture for Celta. There is midweek football in La Liga EA Sports, other than Europa League and Conference League. Athletic and Real Sociedad, of course, not featuring in La Liga, as they'll have their European fixtures as well as Betis. But Celta will be at home to Atletico Madrid on the 26th, which is Thursday. That's for Athletic. Roma, of course, in the Europa League, away from home on Thursday. And after that, back to San Mames, Sevilla on the 29th, which is next Sunday. Chance here for Celta. Paredes again firing it over his own crossbar to concede the corner kick. Some game that for Sevilla, given how their start to the season.